morning, everybody, and happy Sunday. And I am out with Christopher, and we are heading towards Jim Thorpe, somewhere I've never been before. You've been, sort of. You've like biked through it. You've never actually been to the town, right, for the most part? All right, so we're gonna go to Jim Thorpe, check it out, see what's there. We have no idea. I'm hoping maybe some thrift stores and stuff, maybe some cinema to be had. I don't know. We're expecting a fun day. It is beautiful out today, by the way. The weather is amazing. It's overcast. It is fantastic out. What a great day to be outside. But on the way out here, we just passed this sign right here for a garage sale with a Pikachu sitting on a rocking chair. I love it. So we're driving past. We gotta stop and we gotta check him out. All right, Chris, so was it you who said that this barn sale wasn't gonna have any movies whatsoever? A whole stack here stuff, a movie Chris is trying to hide because I think he wants it, and even a laser disc. And I haven't even looked around this whole place yet. Yeah. So I haven't even looked around this whole place yet. So, Chris, I think you stand corrected.
Yes, I stand corrected.
And that is why it pays to stop everywhere. You see a sign for a garage sale, you pull over, you check it out, because you never know what you might find. I got this whole pile here for a total of $16. That's $2 a piece for everything. That is awesome. And we got some free Star Wars posters as well. You get a whole stack of Star Wars posters.
Star Trek.
Star Trek post. Star Wars, Star Trek. What's the difference? No, I'm joking. I know. Star Trek is obviously the poor man's version of Star Wars. I know. Sorry. We got Star Trek posters. I wish they were Star Wars and they might actually be really cool posters.
No.
So anyway, we got this for free. He had a whole pile of them and said, you know what, I got a pile of these, just take 2 of them. So that's awesome. And again, all this for $16. Chris got nothing. How did you manage that?
I was kind of hesitant on one of them, but I don't need it.
I don't know, but that was awesome, so very cool. All right, on to Jim Thorpe. I'm thinking today is gonna be a pretty good day. We have found yet another yard sale, but the question is, will this one be nearly as good as the last? So we're gonna get hit by a car. Well, what do you know? More movies. That's pretty awesome. Ended up grabbing a Blu-ray, a VHS, a DVD, and a book. So a little bit of everything for a total of $5. Not too bad. And Chris, what did you get?
Nothing.
So as I explained to you guys yesterday, this is not really yard sale season. That is late spring, early summer. And Sundays aren't really yard sale days either. That's usually a Saturday thing. And yet, we just keep coming across them today. Here is yet another one. Let's hope for some movies. Well, they did have movies, but they were all scratched, so I had to pass on every single one. But at least they gave me some books for free. This is officially getting insane. We have found yet another Sunday garage sale this late in the season. Maybe it's just this area. I don't know. I gotta come out here more often. This is amazing. And this looks pretty awesome. All right, so Chris, what did you get? What'd you get? What'd you get, Chris?
Nothing.
Chris is coming up empty-handed all day long. Me, I spent a little bit more than I had initially intended on spending, $20, but all this for $20. And that's a working Game Boy. I do not have an original working Game Boy. Well, I mean, I do now, but I didn't. So that's awesome. 2 games and a DVD that I picked up for the store. So that is amazing. Again, all this for $20. I'm okay with doing that. I know we're heading to Jim Thorpe, but I'm okay with just this yard selling. We should just keep doing this all day.
I'm not so good with that.
And once again, we have to pull over for the Sladdington Market. I have never been here. I know nothing about this place, but from what I can see, it looks pretty awesome inside. I'm really excited. Hopefully, I'll find some more good deals. And hopefully, Chris over here, who's already looking, will find something at all. Anyone need Robin Hood on beta for $25? Yikes. Now there's something you don't see every day, a CED player for only $10. That's pretty awesome. And if I had any idea if it worked or not, I would probably pick that up. So not only does this stand have a CED player, but they also have laser discs as well. Unfortunately, they are a bit overpriced. They do, however, have the Star Wars discs that I just told you guys about me wanting, but at $12 a piece, I'm gonna pass. Okay, it's official. This is the best stand here at this antique mall because they have a CED player, they have laser discs, and they have this amazing Epcot mug for only $5. That's tempting. $10 for Snorks on VHS. I think I'll pass. Well, alright, this stand has a lot of great titles. Prices are a little hit or miss, and unfortunately a lot of this is also scratched, so I think I'm only gonna pick up this one title. You have got to be kidding me. I just found some Juliet and the Licks for only $2. This is Juliette Lewis's band, and they're really, really good. I love these albums, and I've never actually owned a physical copy. I'm gonna pick this up. All right, Christy, Sladdington, if I'm saying that correctly, Marketplace. Your thoughts?
It's okay, but I didn't pick up anything.
Yeah, of course, once again, nothing for Chris. I actually grabbed 4 titles here. This place was very hit or miss. It is, as it says, an antique mall, so there were antique prices, and as such, I had to pass on a lot of stuff, but there still were some good deals to be found. Okay, Chris, so on to Jim Thorpe. You think we'll actually make it there today?
Probably not.
No, at this point, I don't think we're ever gonna make it out there.
We're still 20 miles away.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we got a little ways to go. And we have finally made it to beautiful Jim Thorpe. It is a little bit after 3, so it only took us, how many hours, Chris? We've been driving since 10 this morning.
6,000.
But hey, we had to stop at every single yard sale and antique mall on the way up here, because how else would I have gotten all the amazing deals? And I mean, just come on, think of all the amazing deals Chris would have missed out on. So, all right, guys, we have never been here before, so this is going to be a whole new adventure. I'm excited. I'm pumped. Let's see what Jim Thorpe has to offer, other than really loud motorcycles. So as many of you may or may not know, there is one other thing that I do collect besides movies and Disney mugs and Disney pins, and that is postcards from everywhere I've been. So first thing I gotta do here in Jim Thorpe is get a postcard.
And Halo 2, though, you could be a villain. You play as a villain.
Oh, yeah.
In one part.
Not a bad view. Shh, 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 Chris. There's a deer right there. Shh. When hinges creak in doorless chambers and strange and frightening sounds echo through the halls. Seriously, this looks just like the Haunted Mansion. Hey, Chris, it's your house. We are now currently walking through a trail in the woods of Jim Thorpe. There is some interesting things to see out here, according to Christopher. However, I'm not quite sure he has any idea where we are going. So, if this is the last thing I ever say to you guys, I love you and thank you so much for watching my videos. All right, well, if Chris's leadership skills don't kill us, this trail definitely will. Well, Chris, it sure is a good thing that we are 2 strapping young lads who are in the prime of their health. Otherwise, it would have been crazy walking up that hill. Appropriate hiking boots, eh? Nah, I'm sure my Chucks will do just fine. $100% worth the heart attack it took to get up here. So just when I thought the coolest thing today was that Game Boy pickup, I stand corrected. So in case you're wondering, we're actually not walking through a cave. We're walking through an old train tunnel. In fact, right down here are the old railroad ties. This is really amazing. It actually feels really, really good in here as well. Oh my gosh. I mean, this has got to be one of the coolest things I have ever gotten to do. Alright guys, so if there's one last thing we gotta see while in Jim Thorpe, it is the actual grave of the man himself, Jim Thorpe. Now, this was not always the name of the town. It used to be called Munchunk or something like that. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. However, it turns out that the wife of Jim Thorpe wanted some way to memorialize him, and his hometown really wanted nothing to do with him, did not want to build a memorial or anything like that, so she was not too thrilled. Well, it turns out that Munchunk, Pennsylvania was looking to beef up their tourism, so she made a deal and essentially sold his name and his body to the town. It's kind of weird. So they ended up changing the name to Jim Thorpe to bring in tourists, buried his body here. This isn't even where he's from. Buried his body here in Pennsylvania. It is a really weird story of her, again, basically selling off the name and the body to this town that changed their name to Jim Thorpe. Really weird, but this is the grave, and that right there is the man himself. All right, well, that does about do it for our fun-filled trip out to Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, and not a bad way to go out. It is absolutely beautiful out here. I love it. This is a pretty fantastic place. Your thoughts on Jim Thorpe?
Definitely check it out.
I would highly agree. It is beautiful. We got to go through an old train tunnel. We got to see waterfalls. We got to walk through the woods. We got to see a grave of a man who shouldn't be buried out here in the first place, but his wife wanted money and to sell off his body and his name to the town so they could rename it. Really bizarre. Downtown was really nice. It was just amazing. The one thing we didn't get to do though was take this like 70-minute train ride, which we really wanted to do, but we got out here a little bit too late and we missed it, unfortunately. If had we skipped dinner, we could have done it, but we were both starving. I know. I had to stop at every freaking place. I know. It's my fault, but it gives us another reason to come back out here because now we got to do that train ride. So we're definitely going to do that next time we hit up Jim Thorpe. So it was amazing. Again, if you get the chance to get out here, I highly recommend it. Not only can you hit up a lot of awesome yard sales apparently along the way, which is just blows my mind. There were so many of them on a Sunday. That was crazy. But once you get out here, again, breathtaking. So, all right, guys, that does about do it, like I said. So, all right, guys, back from Jim Thorpe. And if you're wondering what's all over my shirt, I have no idea. Apparently that happened today. Anyway, it was a very, very, very long day of driving all the way out to Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, doing plenty of yard sailing and antique storing and whatnot on the way out there. And then once getting out there, doing lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of hiking and walking and just sightseeing. And it was a lot of fun, but if I could only begin to explain to you right now how badly I just want to lie down and go to bed, but we cannot do that yet because first I have to show you everything that I picked up today. So let's get down to it. Let's see what all I grabbed, and I definitely picked up a lot more than I had initially intended on picking up on the way out to Jim Thorpe. At most, I thought maybe we'll drive past a Goodwill or a thrift store, or maybe once we get out there, there's going to be a pawn shop or a thrift store or something, and I'll want to stop there. Maybe I'll get something. In fact, I really had no intentions of even picking anything up at all today. I mean, I wanted to, but it wasn't like I was planning on it. So to have a nice pile of stuff here to show you kind of blows me away, and it is rather surprising. So I guess in no particular order, here we go. So first is the one thing I actually picked up from Jim Thorpe, and that is a Jim Thorpe postcard. Very, very cool. This is awesome. As I mentioned, and as I've explained to you guys before, yes, I collect media, but I also collect, Disney mugs and Disney pins. And the one other thing that I I collect, and I say collect because I only kind of sort of consider this a collection, and that is postcards from everywhere I've been. And the reason why I say collection is because I guess technically it is, but it's not like a collection like everything else. It's just more just kind of like memories. You know, I've been there, want to get kind of like a little keepsake just to keep in a binder I have, and that's really it. So again, I guess you would consider this a collection, but for me, it's just a bunch of keepsakes. I don't know. Whatever it is, I don't collect in the same sense of postcards as I do with like media and stuff. So I don't know. Whatever it is, I do pick these up. So I hadn't been to Jim Thorpe yet. Had to get a postcard. That is awesome. But okay, now on to the actual media I picked up. So there was this really cool guy who sort of was doing kind of what I do in the sense that he has a he goes out to yard sales and whatnot, and flea markets and thrift stores and whatnot, and he picks stuff up and then resells it. But instead of doing it online or something like that, he actually like turned his garage into a little store. Pretty cool. Although he doesn't advertise or anything, so I'm not quite sure how he makes any money. In fact, he was even saying that he has like weekends where he makes like $2, and I was like, "Whoa, why don't you like go on Instagram or something like that?" And the guy goes, "I don't have internet." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, so I guess that's why." So, I don't know. I guess the guy's doing okay. He can't afford the internet, so I have no idea. But regardless, he had a sign that said garage sale, so I had to stop, had to check it out, and I picked up $20 worth of stuff. So hopefully he can eat some dinner this week. So that's good. I guess I paid for his groceries for this week. So that's awesome. And he had some cool stuff. So I finally got myself a hold of an original Game Boy. This is awesome. Very excited about this. I forgot how heavy these are. So this is in perfect working condition. We did pop some batteries, which I guess he forgot to take back. Oh well, I got some cheap batteries, yay. So he tested this out for me. It does work. I tested some games in it. That is awesome. Just needs a cleaning. Otherwise, it is perfect. And I even played a little bit of this today because I couldn't pass it up. I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't held an original Game Boy in my hand in so long. So that is awesome. I've really been wanting these. Again, the only thing I do collect as far as video games are concerned is for the Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. So I still need to get a Game Boy Color. I have a Game Boy. I have a Game Boy Pocket. I don't have a Game Boy Color, but I do have a Game Boy Advance and a Game Boy Advance SP. So still a Game Boy Color is like the one thing I really need to get, and I will eventually. But still very cool. That is awesome. And he had this marked at $20, and the sign said on it $20 plus 2 games. So I also grabbed Tecmo Bowl. Cool, I didn't have that yet. And Power Racer, very awesome. But he also said, you know what? Take a third game. Unfortunately, there really wasn't anything else I was interested in as far as Game Boy games were concerned, but I was interested in this, so I said, well, instead of a game, can I get this instead? And he said, sure. So I grabbed the Mangler 2. Picking this up for the store, well, maybe. I gotta check the condition of mine first. So I'm planning on picking this up for the store, but again, I'm gonna check my condition of the one I have in my collection. If it's not a good condition, then I'll be picking this up for me, but otherwise, I grabbed it for the store. So very cool, great movie. Had to pick that one up. So very awesome. Again, $20 for all that, which I thought was a pretty good deal. Had it been $20 for just the Game Boy, I would have probably said no or tried to talk him down. But for the Game Boy, games, and a movie, $20, I thought it sounded like a pretty good deal. So jumped on that. Alright, so then I found another random yard sale, and the lady was really nice, willing to work out some deals. She had all her stuff, like DVDs were, I think, $2, Blu-rays were like $4, stuff like that. But, you know, I was able to work a deal. She didn't even really haggle with me. She just said, yeah, sure, sounds good. So, awesome. So, for a total of $5, picked up one VHS for the store. We have Saved by the Bell, Volume 5. This is awesome. A Saved by the Bell VHS. Yeah, had to grab that. Actually, all this stuff is for the store. We have Family Guy, It's a Trap. Already have this as well. So again, for the store. Spider-Man vs. Doc Ock. Again, I already have it. And this is really cool, but I don't really collect books. So again, for the store, we have Happiness is a Warm Blanket, Charlie Brown. Hardback. Very, very cool. This is awesome. Still has its dust jacket and everything. Very, very awesome. Very cool. And again, all that for $5. Awesome deal. So that was really nice. We found another yard sale as well. And this is the one that everything was like scratched at. So I passed on all the DVDs. But I was looking at the books and the guy goes, oh, all books are free. So I picked up 3. We have Benji, Fastest Dog in the West, 101 Dalmatians, and also the Bear Scouts. Very cool. So some Berenstain Bears. That is awesome. Very, very cool. Okay, then on to the Antique Mall, which was hit or miss. It is an antique mall. They can be that way. A lot of the stands had like antique prices on their DVDs and whatnot, and as such, they were way too expensive. But some of the stores actually had decent prices, and I was able to find a few things. So I did pick up one DVD here. We have Kiss of the Vampire. I've never seen this one. I've seen is the other Kiss of the Vampire remake or just the same title? I have no idea, but I've never seen this one. So figured I'd pick it up. It was $2 in perfect condition. I grabbed it. And for those of you, before you say something, yes, this same stand had the Faces of Death collection, which was like Faces of Death, like 1, 2, 3, and 4 in like a box set. It was pretty amazing. It was actually marked at $25, but it was 50% off. So I was like, what, $12.50 for that? Okay, I'm going to do that for all 4 movies. The discs were scratched, so I unfortunately had to pass. This was the only thing I ended up picking up, but man, I would have loved that Faces of Death. So I know some of you guys are going to leave some comments. Why didn't you get that? It was scratched, I assure you. In fact, I think the discs had like at one time been resurfaced and they were still scratched because they had that like, if you've seen a resurfaced disc, a lot of times they kind of like that swirly kind of pattern around it. It had that plus scratches in it. So yeah, those scratches, I didn't know if they were like super deep and they didn't come out after resurfacing, or maybe they're after I don't know. Wasn't gonna even take the chance, so I passed. Had it been cheaper, like $5, I might have said screw it, I'll take the chance, but at $12.50, not gonna happen. So I picked up 2 VHS tapes. We have Friday the 13th, part 7, The New Blood. Very, very awesome, very cool. Again, grabbing it for the store. I do already have this same exact release in my collection. And also for the store, The Wolfman, because Universal Monsters, of course, always pick these up for the store. Again, I have this in my collection as well, so very, very awesome. And then this, the coolest pickup of today. As much as I love that Game Boy, this is definitely the coolest thing, and I know it might sound ridiculous, but it is, and that is Juliet and the Licks. You're speaking my language. I love Juliet and the Licks. Now, as I said, this is Juliette Lewis's, the actress. This is her band, and they are really, really good. I can't stress that enough. If you haven't checked out her band, do so. I know a lot of there's a lot of bad stigma when it comes to actors doing music. It doesn't really work out so well a lot of the times. Usually it's really bad. I mean, yeah, there's 30 Seconds of Mars and stuff like that. There's definitely your exceptions, and this is one of those exceptions. This is so good. I just cannot stress that enough. Back in the day when I was into downloading music instead of actually buying music, which was only like a few years ago, I actually had all of her out. I think there's only 2, I think. She only had 2 albums. I think they just put a new one out. She had a solo album too, but I think it was called just like Juliet or something like that. Or I haven't actually heard that album. I don't know if that's good or not. But her Juliette and the Licks. Her first 2 albums are really good. Third one, I've actually heard songs off it, so I'm assuming it's really good. I haven't actually listened to it yet. But again, I had them both downloaded. I listen to them all the time. They are amazing. Just check them out. Go online. See if you can find one of their songs. Give them a listen. I assure you, you will not be disappointed. And the fact that I actually found this is pretty amazing because I don't ever see these. So blew me away. $2. That was an absolute steal. And what I'm definitely most happy about picking up today. But okay, so I gotta grab one. Ooh. I can't get it. There we go. Sorry. I have one other thing I gotta show you and it fell down. Stay. All right, so the first place we hit up was a barn sale, and it was amusing, and and Chris kept saying all day long he jinxed himself. So we go to this sale, and as we're walking up, Chris is like, it's a barn sale. They're not going to have any movies. And I'm like, you never know. You got to check. I found DVDs at barn sales before. In fact, I found movies at this one. So I said, you never know. We should always check, and we did, and I guess I'll show this off first because this is why Chris jinxed himself. So for free, we each got these cool Star Trek posters. Look at that. From Carmike Cinemas. Very awesome. He had a whole stack of these, and I guess he was like, I got a lot of them. You can just have them for free. With Chris being the Star Trek guy, he was pretty excited. Me, it's cool. I'm happy to have it. So Chris says, he was so excited about that. He said to me, I don't care if I don't find anything else today. I'm happy with this. And he did not find anything else today. So all day long, he was like, I jinxed myself. I should not have said that. So yeah, Chris, you shouldn't have said it, but I found, as you can see, a lot of stuff, and I did find some stuff at this barn sale as well. So I picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 DVDs and 2 Laserdiscs. And I said in the video I picked this all up for $16. Well, when I counted my change back, it appears, I actually took, I took the change out of my pocket, went to put it in my wallet. It actually appears he gave me the wrong change back. I actually only paid $12 for all this. So I don't know if he was giving me a deal or if he just messed up. I'm guessing he messed up, but at that point we had already left. So I was literally miles and miles away. I wasn't going to turn around. So unfortunately the guy did, I guess, give me the wrong change. I don't know, but I ended up paying only $12 for all this. So awesome. I feel bad, but awesome. So the DVDs I picked up, most of these, well, some of these for the store, some for me. So for the store, I did grab the Missing in Action 3-pack here. Comes with Missing Action 1, 2, and 3. Very awesome, great movies. I do already have these, so again, for the store. This is for me, but this will actually lead to the store. We have Girls Night Out, One Dark Night, and Blood Sisters. Now, Blood Sisters, I actually already have in a single release, so that will be going up to the up on the store. But the other two movies I didn't have yet, so had to grab that. Dawn of the Dead, again, for the store. The Hand, I already have this in my personal collection as well, so again, for the store. I haven't seen this one yet. Gotta check it out. This is definitely for me. This is a Blue Underground release. This is amazing. We have Vigilante. That is so cool. I have never seen this movie, but man, do I ever want to. That is amazing. And it has it slip and everything, so really, really cool. And this is a title that Chris was actually thinking about getting, but I don't think Chris is really all that into horror. So he was like, yeah, I kind of want to get it. And then I think the more he thought about it, he was just kind of picking it up because it's out of print. He doesn't really want it. So he's like, you know what? I actually don't want this. You can have it if you want it. So, okay. We have My Bloody Valentine with Slip. And like I said, if I'm not mistaken, this is out of print right now, so very, very cool. This is the original, not the remake, so awesome. This will be going up at the store. I, of course, already have this in my own personal collection, and very cool that it comes with a slip as well. So that is awesome. Really cool find. It's a shame, Chris didn't get it, because then he actually would have picked something up today, but again, he said he didn't want it, so I did, so I took it. And then, like I said, I grabbed 2 laser discs as well. So we have Legend. Very cool, fun 80s fantasy movie, so very awesome. They also had underneath this was, I don't remember anymore, it was a James Bond movie, I can't remember which one it was. The reason I didn't grab that is because there was no disc inside. As soon as I picked it up, it felt just like there was nothing in it, and sort of I shook it, and yeah, there was no disc inside, so I did pass on that, obviously, although I guess I could have got it and then hung up the artwork. Oh well, anyway, still very cool. And then I also grabbed The 10 Commandments. Very awesome, very cool, great movie. So there you go, guys. That is everything I picked up today. So as you can see, a lot more than I had initially intended on picking up. I was not expecting to grab this much stuff on the way out to Jim Thorpe. I really thought maybe at most we hit up one Goodwill or something, and maybe I'd find something there, and then the rest of this video was going to be all Jim Thorpe goodness. But half the video is me hunting, so that is pretty awesome. Again, so much cool stuff. I am so excited. I mean, everything from out-of-print movies to some Blue Underground, one of the coolest CDs I own, awesome VHS, cool horror, tons of amazing books, stuff I'm dropping on the floor, a Game Boy and some games. I mean, just so much cool stuff. And on top of that, I had a blast with Chris out in Jim Thorpe. He was saying how much he liked it as well. We definitely plan on going back out there again sometime. We really want to do the train ride. Unfortunately, we missed it. We could have gotten on it. We had enough time when we got there, but we were both so hungry at that point. We had spent all day, out yard sailing and whatnot. We really wanted to eat, so we went and got some pizza, and it took them like 30 minutes to cook our pizza. I don't know why it took so long. The pizza was good, but again, it took forever. So by the time we were done eating, we had already missed the last train. So we will be getting back out there, and we will be doing the 50-minute train ride. Sounds really, really cool. I'm very excited about that. So stay tuned for more Jim Thorpe in the future. I don't know when, but it'll happen. So, all right, guys, there you go. So again, I am super tired. I'm off to bed. So again, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye. You have got to be kidding me. They got the name of the town wrong. It's James Thorpe, not Jim Thorpe. You idiots. That joke, by the way, is brought to us by the lovely Chris Mann.